Greetings, this is Chief She. Greetings, and I hope everyone is doing well. Um, Speaking to my people, right? Copper color Americans, American Indians who have been mislabeled as Black and African American. This video is about correcting your identity. It's very, very simple, and I'm talking about correcting your identity on your government side, not the spiritual side, not your tribal side. It's just on your government side, on the federal government side. So the federal government has a form called the ethnicity and race identification form. It's the SF 181. I'm sure that most of you, if you've already gotten into knowing who you are, you probably use this form already or are aware of it at least. So the reason why you want to correct your identity is because you have the right to self-identify. You have the right to tell people who you are based on what your family told you that you were, right? And everybody I talk to, most copper colored people I've talked to, have somebody in a family that told them that they was Indian on somewhere. They grandma, great grandma, grandfather, great grandfather, or somebody was Indian. So that's enough for your people telling you who you are, for you to correct your ethnicity. Because right now you are showing under a certain label that really doesn't have a ethnic identity or nationality attached to it. Black and African American is attached to a group, not to a people. You want to be attached to a people, your people. Okay, so you go and you go and look up that SF 181. So the things that you need to do, I'm a combat veteran, so I had to do one extra step because I'm a veteran. But the things that you need to do is you need to go to the Social Security Administration in your area or outside of your area. It doesn't matter where you go, which one you go to. They all do it. Okay, and you need to go in and you need to sign in for something else, not necessarily to get a replacement Social Security card. Just sign in for something else. And at that point where you say other, you can say correct or update your ethnicity, right? That's what you want to do. So you get your number, you go in, you probably have to sit down for a minute, and then they're going to call you up to the window. And what you tell them is you need to correct your ethnicity to American Indian. And it's just a matter of them typing from what it might have been a 3, as in Black, African American might be a number 3, to a number 1, which would be American Indian, or vice versa. It might be Black is 1 and 3 is American Indian, and they just need to change the number. So sometimes, depending on where you go, because not everybody's going to be happy that you know this information, right? So sometimes they're going to ask you for some paperwork, and you let them know, I don't need any paperwork, but I did fill out a SF 181, right? They just need some paperwork, to say they got some paperwork, and you might have to wait, and they might have to call their supervisor or something, and you just say, yes, my ethnicity is incorrect, and I would like to correct it. I don't need any paperwork, but I did fill out the SF 181 to correct it. I have done my family history, and that's all I need to come and correct it, because when you put it down there, you didn't ask me for any verification. You put it down there because that's what you said I was, right? It was a mislabel, and I needed corrected, and it's just something that they could do in like 2 minutes. It's not a big deal. And what they'll probably do, and they'll tell you, oh, well, we'll send you a new Social Security card out, although we don't need to. We'll send you a new one out just in case. But actually, they really do, because if you look at your Social Security card, the old one that you have, when you get the new one, the number sequence will be different on your Social Security card, and that is meaningful to them, right? Because it identifies you as something other than Black or African American, because those numbers on the back of that card are identifiers to their what is it they use us for? Gosh, I know the word that I'm trying to pull this word. They use this for collateral. So those numbers correlate to how valuable you are in their system. Right? That's what the numbers correlate to. I don't care what anybody says. Don't worry about it. It's just another one of those truths that is a truth that they don't want to admit is true, but it is. So you'll get a different number designation on your file. It'll look different, a little bit different. So you do that at the Social Security Administration. You get the little form that says you'll be sent out a new card. And then basically everything that you use a Social Security number for. And I don't advocate doing secured creditor stuff and trying to alter some paperwork and become your own thing by filing all of this paperwork, these secure creditor paperwork. I don't advocate that, only not because I think there's anything wrong with it. I personally think it's a waste of time because I haven't seen an advantage in it. Because the forms that we are trying to get and the stuff that we're trying to get belongs to the government, right? That birth certificate, that Social Security card, all of that stuff belongs to them. That's their documents. So they're not going to let you use their documents to take any kind of money away from them. So I don't see a need for the secure creditor. I don't see a need to do and go through all that paperwork, or to pay someone to go through all that paperwork to do absolutely nothing. And the people that I've seen that done secure creditor things, I haven't seen a big change in their lives, that they got $1 million now or whatever, or they have no credit, their credit is wiped out. Maybe temporarily, but on the long term, I haven't talked to anybody that has shown me any reason to do this paperwork. So I'm not with that secure creditor thing and getting your. Now I am an advocate. I heard a sister who has a YouTube channel, and I think she also has a Facebook page where she goes live. You'll have to do your research, but she's an elder and she talks about the value of getting your certificate of live birth. I'm not sure if she talks about the secure creditor and how that works, the straw man and all of that, but she did say that we all need to apply for that original certificate of live birth that proves we're alive, right? Because the birth certificate basically proves you're dead. Don't debate me. Go do your research. And if you've done your research and you found a different truth, go with it. Don't believe me. So I haven't found any reason to do that. So on the governmental side, on the side that has my ID, my driver's license attached to it, even though I don't need to have a driver's license, and it clearly says that you don't need to have a driver's license. They give you citations for not having your driver's license when it's not mandatory in the first place. But anyway, in order to conduct the business that I need to conduct with the federal government, I need to have those documents and use those documents on occasion. So I use a Social Security number and I use my driver's license to prove my identity to U.S. citizens, all right, to people who need to know. So you go to the Social Security office, you have them corrected there. You take your SF-181 and you can just print off one. It's not that difficult. And let me just take a moment to read to you the distinctions of the ethnicities that you have to choose from and what they mean. The first one is American Indian or Alaska Native. And this says a person having origins in any of the original peoples, get that, of North and South America, including Central America, and who maintains tribal affiliation or community attachment. So as an American Indian, you need to make sure that the people in your community know that you're American Indian, either by your wear or by posting it on your car or something, just a sticker that says you're American Indian, right? So that your community starts to identify you as American Indian and not black. Right? So you don't need to go and dress up in no feathers and shit. You don't have to do that. Right? You don't have to go and try to find creative ways to make yourself look Native American, because you're not Native American. You are American Indian. Okay, and so that's one choice, American Indian or Alaska Native. The second choice is Asian. Now, Asian says a person having origins in any of the original peoples. Again, we come back to original peoples of the Far East, Southeast Asia, or the Indian subcontinent, including, for example, Cambodia, China, India, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Pakistan, the Philippine Islands, Thailand, and Vietnam. Now that's Asian. These original peoples tied to all of these other peoples are Asian, says their families, right? The third category that you can choose from is Black or African American. Now pay specifically close attention. It says, one little line. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 words. And number 13 is important. A person. Remember I told you my objection to using person? Because we're a people, we're not a person. A person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. I don't think you get it. A person, not a people, not attached to any original peoples, having origins in any of the black racial groups, not ethnicities, of Africa. That is why you don't want to associate yourself with Black or African American, because those terms, those labels are not covered under the Constitution. You have no rights as a Black person or an African American person. A person has no rights. An individual has no rights, no power. The power comes from the people. Being attached to a people, an original people, gives you power. As an individual, a person attached to a racial group of Africa, you have no power. The next category is Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander. And that reads, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Hawaii, Guam, Samoa, or other Pacific Islands. The last category is white, which is a color. And it says, listen to this, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North America. All of these other categories, with the exception of Black, tie you to original people. If you are not tied to an original people anywhere, you are not, and you have no ethnicity, and you have no power. You have to be attached to some original peoples. Otherwise, you are put in a group that is the property of someone else. That's why you want to correct your ethnicity. So you take that form, you can take this form, you can print it out, and all you do is check American Indian, and a couple of other checks. Are you Hispanic or Latino? You can say yes or no, whichever one of those. You say no, and you check that. You don't have to sign it, right? Because be careful about your signatures, but you don't have to sign it. You just hand it to them, tell them you want to correct your ethnicity. You've been doing your genealogy. You found out that your peoples are American Indian and you are of the American Indian peoples, right? Don't debate it. If they tell you you can't do that, they need this paperwork, tell them, no, I don't. All I need is this form or no form to tell you who I am, and I need you to change that, and I need to see verification of that change. I need you to print that out. Just do a screen grab and print it out for me. Okay? So your next step is to go to wherever you get your driver's license from. Wherever you get your driver's license from. Hold a second. The Department of Transportation, or whatever they're called in whatever city, state, wherever you are, go to the Department of Transportation. Now, they will tell you on your license, on your driver's license, that there is no category on your license for ethnicity. And while it might not be on the actual driver's license itself, it is in their system, in the back system. So you tell them you need to correct and to make sure that your identity, you corrected your identity with Social Security, your ethnicity with Social Security, and you need to correct your ethnicity with the driver's license. Then you need them to go into that back office system and update your ethnicity from Black or African American to American Indian, and ask them to print out that screenshot and show you that it changed. So now what happens when the police get behind you and they stop you and they run your driver's license, the first thing is going to pop up is going to say American Indian. And if you do things like put your nation's sticker on your car, not on your driver's license, not on your license plate. Okay, don't be stupid. Don't start going print no license plates. Don't do that. People get in so much trouble for doing that. Now, once your nation is established and you have given notice to the government and to your county commissioners and stuff around you, and you're okay with taking that next step and knowing that you may end up in court quite a bit for your plates, right? Don't start doing that stuff right now. Don't go change your place and make you some plates. Don't do that. Keep your plates on the car, because again, all of this stuff belongs to the federal government, right? So don't go changing your plates and putting some, nation of whatever on your plates, right? Just get, what I did is I went to a sign shop. They make signs, and I had them make me a sign that they could adhere to the back window of my truck, my SUV. And it says, it's basically the seal, the great seal of the Ethnicity Cherokee Nation. It's the seal, and it's see-through. I mean, you can see it, you can read it on the back, but when I look out, I can't see it, right? But it's on the back. It's film, like tents on my back window, and it says the great seal of the Ethnicity Cherokee Nation. So when they get behind me, they already see that. They see that. They see my disabled veteran plates on my car. They see, so they see, when they pull me up, they see American Indian in that back system that they have, what they use to identify people with. They see that. So these are all ways to be identified in your community, because we are not tied to reservations right now. Most of us, until we build our own, right? So make sure that you have your identification, or wear a t-shirt, get with, go to, I think it's Origine Apparel. That's one place where you can get a shirt, that says Aboriginal or Origine, with a picture, or something like that. So wear that around so people start to associate you with being an American Indian. Now, once you start repping your people, you really need to represent your people. Don't go acting a fool anywhere. Don't go dishonoring your tribe. Don't do that. Follow the laws as a courtesy. We are not made to follow the laws. You know, we are supposed to be, our law is supposed to supersede their laws, right? Because we are natural. We have natural law, right? So we're supposed to, our laws are supposed to be more important than their laws. However, as a good citizen of your tribe, you need to reflect your tribe in a positive light. And so you want to follow as a courtesy the laws that don't conflict with your natural laws or your tribal laws. Okay, so just do that. Don't be angry, people. You know, anger is wonderful fuel if it's focused in a positive direction. If it's just all out anger for the sake of being angry and mad because you ain't got no power, it's useless. You know, and if you need to rant and rave, do that behind closed doors in your home. Don't go beating on people. Men, don't beat your women. Women, don't put your hands on your man. It's not necessary for you to do that. Conduct yourself in all ways as a representative of your tribe. You know, if you're in a state where smoking marijuana, your herb, is not legal, and if you do it, don't do it stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't do it out in the open. UNDRIP gives you the right to use your tribal medicines. But just don't be stupid with it. Do it in ceremony. Do it in ritual. Even if the ritual is just you by yourself in the house. Do it within ritual. You know, take all precautions you can not to expose you and your tribe to any unneeded, unnecessary eyes, praying, prying, right? Don't do that. Don't give a reason to be harassed and then start squeaking and squawking about how they are stepping on your rights. No, they're not stepping on your rights. You're not being a respectful citizen of your tribe. And you must be. So just do everything with the right intent. Okay, I was going to show you a picture of the SF-181, but you can get online, just type in Google, type SF-181. It'll show you, it'll bring up the form for you. You can print it out. You can 2 check marks, and you're go down to Social Security Administration, change your, correct your ethnicity. Go to the driver's license, wherever you get your driver's license, Department of Transportation, and correct that in their back system. So basically, you're covered. Anywhere you use your driver's license or your Social Security card, you're covered. Now, if you are military, like I was, and I had another copper color brother share this information with me, and I can't remember exactly his name, so I don't want to mess it up, but he shared it with me. He's military as well. You need to go down to your Veterans Service Office. You know, every city, every state, every city has one. They have a regional office for veterans. And you go down to your regional office, and there's a form that you can fill out to request to a correction to your ethnicity. They won't have a form. They'll tell you that this is something that they can't do. Take the piece of paper that they give you, write on there, correction of my ethnicity based on my genealogy. So they have to go back and correct your records in your military service records, and they have to change it from African American and Black to American Indian. Now, there may be some perks to that, I'm not sure, but make sure you do that for your military side too, if you're military. If you are active duty military, then you just need to go to the whatever office handles the administrative, your paperwork portion, and have them corrected there, right? And so if you're active duty, it's much easier to correct than if you're retired or a veteran or whatever. So you just go to your regional office, your veterans regional office in your state, or in a city close to you that has a regional office in it. Like in Texas, it's one in Houston. So it's easy to go to. right? So that's all I have for you today. Correct your ethnicity because you need to move from the place of being a person connected to a group, a racial group, to um, attached to an original people, because you are an original people, right? Okay. If you have any questions, valid questions only, you can drop that question in the comments. I'll see it and I'll respond to it. Don't give me no foolishness. I don't care what you think. I don't care whether it should be white or whatever. I'm saying this is for American Indians. This is about American Indians. If you want to check white based on something you read somewhere or somebody told you in another group, then by all means do what you need to do. But I'm just telling you, for American Indians, this is one of the things we need to do. Okay? All right. Peace.